Aloha, babes. Okay, you know what? I just had to come on here. So, one of my friends from high school, he had a incident with his son at his school about, you know, a girl had whacked him across his head, and he had did the right thing, and he went and he told the adults and the teachers, the people that he's supposed to trust, and instead he got suspended and nothing was done onto the girls who did that. Also to that the girls did not tell the truth, and his son did. Now i have to I have to say that it is very sad that you place your children in schools, right, in the schools, and you want them to feel safe. But if they cannot be safe, especially like with the principal and with the teachers that they're with, like that raises a concern for me. And not all teachers and not all principals are this way, because the school that my son is in right now, the two Thomas, is amazing and totally different. And when we put them back into school, there was a lot of hesitation. So back in Oahu, we had put Tamari'i was in I just consider the name Elepulu Elementary, and we put him in there, and not even day two, he was already discriminated because the kids was telling him that he's too brown to be at that school, because there's a lot of white children there. Let's be real. Now it's like a military school, and and he was a little brown, and I always felt like something was wrong, but I needed to just trust that everything was to be okay, because this is where um my husband, Moki, had went to school when he was younger, and he had great things to say about it, and so did other people at other classmates. I said, "Oh yeah, that was like the best school, whatever, whatever." But times have changed, and there's new people. There's not the same teachers there, but there was the same principal there, and I'm not dogging the principal. Long story short, Tamari was there for his first grade, super excited about it, whatever, and one day, Tamari like we started to see that Tamari wasn't really happy, and he didn't want to go to Kula. And yeah, of course we questioned him and asked him what was going on, and he just said that he wasn't smart enough. And we would always have to reassure him that, like, you are smart enough. And he said, well, a lot of the kids make fun of me and whatever, whatever. So we kind of just let it slide, and we told him, just try your best and go from there. And I did call the counselor at that time, and said these things, and she said, well, you know what, I'll go ahead and check and make sure everything's okay. Now these times that she went, she reported back to me and said, you know what, I'm gonna be going into the class more often. She said, I seen that when I passed there, Tamari A was on his chair, holding his hands onto his ears, and the kids were like directing him to do this and do that, and he just seemed like he just was losing it. So she went inside there, and she told the kids to stop doing that. That's not acceptable. They're not the teacher, and whatever, whatever. Now that day, Tamari had came back, and he was like, oh yeah, babe, it wasn't a good day today. So I was like, okay, okay, like, just try better. Now 6 months had bypassed, and I feel so bad, but one day we picked up Tamari from Kula, and he was so excited, and he said, babe, I finally got to go to recess. And we're like, wait, what? You've been here six months already. What do you mean you finally went to recess? And mind you, me and my husband was both in the car at that time. Of course we detoured, and we parked our car, and we directly went to the office, and we was like, you know what? We just heard something very disturbing, and our son has said he finally went to recess. He'd been in the school 6 months. He told me he never go to recess for 6 months. Okay, so they had the talk with the teacher, and the teacher said, "Oh yeah, because I don't have time to teach him if he's behind, because I have other students." Come to find out, Tamari and one other student was a little bit behind, but it was a girl student, and he was the only boy student. But he was the only student that had to stay back and watch all his friends go play, while um he sat there outside watching his kids play. Like, how sad is that, right? And long story short, um um when Tamari E would play, kids would bully him because of his skin color. And you would not think that this would happen to your child, but this happened to our child. And we questioned the teacher. Of course, we had a meeting and we questioned the teacher, and she said, well, it's not my job, and I can't force the kids to play with him if they don't want to. No, but you could teach them that it is, the you don't treat anybody like that. You treat everybody equal and you play with everybody. And it was really sad that this teacher was that way. And I don't remember her name because she's not, for me, it's not worth my time to remember. But it was at elepulu elementary, and the principal at that time apologized for had what happened. But at that point, my son never let go school, so that's why we ended up homeschooling him for 2 years. Now, moving here to Hilo, he was devastated. He didn't want to go into school, and I don't blame him. And when we came to Kyokaha Elementary, everybody was just so friendly. Everybody allowed him patience, and they worked with him. Especially, he was, even though like he was like a little bit slower than other students, like he caught on. He just had a hyperactive, like he just was very high. He's just very hyperactive. Like he is so energy strong, but brilliant in there. Once you allow him to give him the time to express himself and get it out and answer the problem without rushing, he can do it like that. But what I'm saying is that there needs to be equality across the board, and you cannot pick and choose between genders. Like it has to be equivalent, and that's kind of like what happened to my friend and his son, and his wife and his son. And that's what happened to Tamari. um the girl was allowed to get the help from that teacher. um and she said, oh, because they have more feelings and whatever. Okay, so you're telling me my son never have feelings? So you made my son stay in for 6 months, but you went and helped this girl. And Tamari used to always say, oh, she only helps the girls and whatever. And I think this needs to stop. It frustrates me because you know the first years of school supposed to be the greatest, and that was like the worst for Tamari. Not only was he bullied because his skin color, but he was also bullied from his teacher, his classmates, and other students in other grades, and it was overlooked. And then on top of that, even in the lunchroom, Tamari got upset because a student behind him was flicking his ear, and he said to stop. And it was a female, a white student, and then it was a male student that was in the same grade as him in his classroom, and he kept on flicking his, and Tamari said, can you please stop, like I don't like that. And he went and he told the lunch lady, and the lunch lady told him, oh well, you have to stay there because I have to take care of all these other kids. And you're just, it's those words were pretty much shared to where he didn't mean anything. You see what I mean? Like he was just, so he flew the fork, and the fork almost hit another staff member, and he was pissed. He just flew it. And anyways, of course, he was sent to the principal's office, and we had to go down there. And they said, oh, your son is um showing violent actions. And of course, the first thing comes to mind is that, okay, well, what happened through that time? Like what happened? And we teach our kids not to lie and to always tell the truth no matter how much it hurts. And Tamani said he was frustrated because he went to not one but two staff in the lunchroom, and they didn't listen to him. And the kids continued to pick on him in front of them, and they didn't do anything. And that's where it has we drew the line, and we said, you know what, thank you for nothing, but we are going to remove him from the school. And that was that. And it was really easy because they didn't like confrontation. And that's what irritated me, that it was so fast to just be like, you know what, oh yeah, there wasn't like, oh no, we can make this work, we apologize. There was no sincerity. And that's what upset us the most, is that there was there was no apology for what had happened to Tamari in his first years of school. Not first years of school, but in his first grade or kindergarten. I think it was kindergarten. um but long story short, you know that's kind of why a lot of people are in homeschooling, is because bullying, and it's not even just the kids. Sometimes it's the teachers themselves, and it's sad. But you know what? Thank goodness, we raise him right. And we teach him to just let it be and move forward, and just will handle all of that for you, or you let God handle it and place it in his hands, and you move forward with it, but you also let us know as well, and we wish them the best. But till today, like, Tama will definitely be straight up with us on anything that happens in school, and it's come about, with bullying and whatever, and this school in Kilkaha school, they are so open minded, and they don't favoritize. They correct on the spot, and they always let the parents know, and we have that clear understanding between parents, teachers, staff, and children, that these are the steps we're gonna take, and these are the steps we're not gonna take, and if so, this is what's gonna happen. And I love it. And till today, the Tamas love their new school. But, like, come on, principals, I think we should be checking up on our classes, and really look into who we have as some teachers, that you place, that we trust in our children, to be in your hands and be able to be comfortable in the environment, and treat them equally, regardless of their genders or their ethnicities. It doesn't matter if they're Hawaiian, Caucasian, Asian, everybody should be treated equally. That's just across the board. But I can go on and on about this forever, because just listening to my classmate, and what him and his wife is going through, and the son went through with getting suspended and stuff, I don't think that was necessary at all. um it just it just brings up triggers from, like, when Tamari was in school, and so yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Okay, guys. Ahui ho.